Caroline Martin. So, does smoking cannabis make you thick? As I said, American researchers say that people who use the drug just once or twice a week suffer changes in their moods, emotions, and addiction levels. So, talk to me about this. If you've smoked it for a period of time, or if you watch other people do it, what do you think about that statement? What does it turn you into? Does cannabis make you thick? Colin is in Birmingham, and he's smoked cannabis for over, 30 years, is it, Colin?
It's 38, actually.
Right, 38 years, okay. So when did this all start then, Colin?
Well, it started when I was 25, really, and that's when I probably actually started to learn about the world in which I'm living with.
Right.
So it's made me thick. It's made me thick in knowing the world in which I'm living. If we can go back a bit, the god Shiva is said to have brought cannabis from the ladders for human enlightenment and enjoyment. So we've known, for centuries that it's for enlightenment. So we've known that it's always changed our brain cells because it enlightened us. So the Americans wasted basically a load of money on something that we've known for ages.
So do you feel enlightened, Colin?
Of course I do.
Well, I mean, how often do you smoke it? You smoked it for 38 years. I mean, are we talking daily, more than that, a few times a day?
Well, it's irrelevant, isn't it?
Well,
it doesn't really matter how much I smoke it.
Right, just humour me. How much do you smoke?
As often as I can, whenever somebody is willing enough to give me some.
Right. Okay.
So it could be, it could be 2 weeks, or it could be a week, 7 days on the trot. I don't buy it anymore because I just can't afford it.
Right, okay, so you're just basically waiting for somebody to hand it over to hand you some.
The blessed herb and the weed should be free, really, anyway.
Well, I'm sure there are those that agree with you and some that would dispute that, Colin.
No, actually, the problem is, in 2010, let me go back a bit later, a lot longer than that. In 1986, the United Nations recommended that every nation should be growing hemp, which is cannabis. There's no difference between the two. And if the United Nations recommend, why did they recommend it? They recommended it because hemp grown on large scales is environmentally beneficial to nature, to the environment, to everything. If cotton production uses up far more water than hemp production, whereas hemp can be made into fabrics. So therefore, we're wasting water on cotton production when we could be growing hemp locally. We can produce it locally and manufacture it locally. So that's part of the problem. They won't do it because anything that's produced locally they don't want because of globalisation. Can you understand what I'm trying to say there?
I'm getting what you're saying, yeah. Colin, with regard to when you do smoke it, how does it make you feel? I mean, what is the attraction to it?
It makes me want to learn, to be honest with you. The more, when I do smoke it, the first thing that I do is delve into a book or go on the internet and find out what's happening. I mean, let's look what's happening in the Ukraine at the moment. It's an insanity whereby our governments, the Western government, are supporting right-wing fascists.
So you would dispute this then? Does smoking cannabis make you thick? With you, on the contrary, it makes you kind of devour knowledge? Yes,
absolutely. And the United Nations also in 2010 sent out a report, a discussion paper called From Coercion to Cohesion. And this discusses how we should cure and help people with drug disorders. Instead of imprisoning them, we treat them through medical treatment, and the cost would be a lot lower. And then in August of 2010, the United Nations sent out another report which actually recommends the depenalisation and decriminalisation of all drug users.
Well, listen, Colin, it's been interesting to hear your story. There's Colin, who is in Birmingham, smoked cannabis for, 38 years. I want to know, though, what do you think? Does smoking cannabis make you think? Get in touch, 03